Hey folks, Takota Coen here from Coen Farm. We're just out on at our bottom swale here on the farm and getting ready to plant some trees in the next couple of days here. And one of the things that we're doing is a bit of subsoiling I wanted to show you. So this is a little implement that my dad actually just made. Let's pull it out of the ground here. So this is what's known as a subsoiler, and what we're doing is we just finished rototilling these strips into some pasture. We had the cows in here to beat this grass down, add some nutrients to the ground, get it prepped for the trees. Came in, rototilled it twice. We just finished seeding it with some oats and peas, red clover, white clover, and some crimson clover, which is an annual clover, which will grow really well this year. And now, we harrowed that, so the seeds are incorporated. Now we've come along and we've deep ripped a nice slot right down the center of this rototilled zone. And there's several reasons for that. One is so that the trees have a really nice uncompacted zone to root into. And the other reason is that it's a really nice demarcation for when we get our tree planters here. So there's gonna be about 1,000 trees put in here, things like bur oak, sea buckthorn, buffalo berry, Saskatoon, caragana, black walnut. Basically there's gonna be a canopy tree every 15 feet. And then in between those canopy trees, there's gonna be a row of shrubs every 3 feet. And then we've got, of course, our fencing system's already put up. We got our water line here that we can use to water our livestock. That's all gravity pressure. So that same water line we'll be able to use to water our livestock when they're grazing alongside this forest garden here. But if we get into a drought or anything like that, we'll be able to use that same infrastructure to help water the trees and get them established for the first couple years. So the whole plan of this is as I said, we've got a 600 meter swale. That it's the lowest swale on the property, and it's also the largest swale. Holds about 200,000 gallons when it's full. We built that 4 years ago, and every year it fills up right to this level here. So if this was springtime, I'd be up to my waist in water, and every year it fills up like that. So we've done that for 3 years now. And there's a really nice lens of water underneath the soil here. So when we plant those trees, on the uphill side there, their roots are gonna be able to get down into that slot that we've just ripped and access some of that moisture that we've been banking in there for the last couple years. And of course, when you're probably wondering, why are we planting trees on the uphill side? Would it make more sense to plant on the downhill side? Well, long term, in the next 10, 15 years, we are planning on putting trees on the downhill side here. But one of the other factors that we have to deal with, one of the weaknesses we have on our property, is really bad westerly winds. So it's nice and calm today, but for the most part, wind stress has been one of the biggest challenges we've had in trying to establish our previous forest garden up there and some of the other plantations down there. So this new strategy that we're doing is trying to plant a pioneer forest or a shelter belt on the leeward side, so that and we're using hardier species, things like caragana, sea buckthorn, buffalo berry, Saskatoon. Those are all pioneer species that also have additional values like berries, nitrogen fixation, biomass. The bur oak produces some of the sweetest acorns in the world. They also live for hundreds of years, and their roots go basically as tall as the tree is. There's a taproot that's going into the ground, so they help pull up minerals from the soil. So all of those trees are going to help create a really nice microclimate on the downwind side, on the leeward side. So we're going to plant the shelter belt on the windward side, and that way in 10, 15 years when we come in and we want to plant things like our plums and our apples and pears that can't handle the wind stress as much as some of these pioneer species, they'll already be they'll have this really nice nurse forest on the upslope, and we'll save this prime real estate, which is on the downhill slope where there's better soil. There's obviously gonna be more moisture because it's on the downhill side, and we're hoping that that's gonna make it a lot easier to get some of these more climax species established. So the main insight here that we found on the farm is that when you're planting trees, it's really important to plant the water first, and also when you're planting trees, you want to plant first you want to plant the conditions for the trees that you're trying to plant. So if you want to have an apple tree, ironically, the sooner you plant the apple tree doesn't mean the sooner you're going to get apples. It's the sooner you create the conditions for apple trees to thrive, the sooner you're going to get apples. So, that's why planting the water first and planting the wind protection first is really critical. And also the other thing that we found is there's kind of three things when you're planting trees you have to think about in terms of the biggest threats that there are to their establishment. And you can sum up in the 3 W's. So you've got weeds, you got wind, and you got water. And if you can deal with all 3 of those, you're going to be able to have happy trees. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll talk to you later.